Another Stoic philosopher once said that when you leave your house and when you come back that night, you come back as a different man. You're never the same man coming back, right? Well, you're either coming back as a better human, more transcendent, more aware, more connected, or not. And I can tell you that we're seeing more men realizing that it's not just about the car, the watch, the possessions, working until my eyes bleed. At the project, this thing that we run, a men's personal development program, we have the 5 pillars. And it's faith, family, fitness, finance, and fulfillment. Obviously, the finance is what most people think about, right? Well, if I just make good money, I'll be a good provider as a man. Most men think that they're relegated to just being a provider. Well, I provide a roof over their head, they're safe, they have food, they have school supplies. But there's more to being a man. There is more to being a man. What about a level of faith, as in confidence in yourself, faith in a higher power, that there's a path for you? Right? Faith in your friends and your circle of influence, that these guys who set up this amazing studio can set it up in a way that we can have this moment, right? So then you've got your faith, you've got your finances, great. What about fitness? And on the fitness side, I believe that physical fitness is the gateway drug to emotional and mental fitness. Most people who do get fit physically completely neglect mental and emotional hygiene. And they are living stressed, overwhelmed, addicted to vices, or financially broke because they completely forgot about the other F pillars. And so that fitness is really about, can you be physically fit? Because think about what level of focus, consistency, delayed gratification, discipline that is required for a man to get lean, jacked, and stay lean and jacked for a prolonged period of time. That's a lot of shit you got to do in terms of how you eat, how you train, your nutrition, your sleep, etc., your environment. And that bleeds into, well, maybe I can have some greater control, going back to locus of control, I can have some greater control over my mental health, emotional discipline. And so if we can factor that, then what do we have left? Well, we got family. Because if you have money, you've got mental, physical, emotional fitness, and you've got some level of ability to have experiences and go places and
bit of material freedom.
Yeah. To say that, look, all women are bad and all women want to use you and all women are chasing down the dudes with the Lambos and the watches and the money. That is not true. That is not true. Again, that is, you will always find evidence for what you're looking for in life. And so if these young kids are seeing that on YouTube, right? I say young kids in their 20s, late 20s, even 30s. I'm 49. What do you got? What do you got? So you got a life where you're lonely. The number one category of suicide is men over the age of 60 who are alone. So that's what they're preaching. In other words, be alone, just have sex, move on, have sex, move on. And at some point, your value as a man, you've become old and now you're alone. You don't have a life partner. The highest category of suicide for men is men over 60 who are alone, either divorced or widowed or never found anyone. Yeah, so like that's the end game they're preaching? That's stupid. The highest level of fulfillment is it's not stuff, it's not even legacy. It's actually having children and seeing those children become great members of society, value adders to society, knowing that when you pass, that is the legacy you leave behind. Like I've got Andrew and Chloe, a son and a daughter who will do so much more good for this planet than I ever did. Because I got such a late start, whereas they started off, my wife and I poured into them from day one to be just servants of humanity, but to also be savages in terms of expectations for themselves, right? And so that is the greatest legacy. And so without my wife, how can I have those two beautiful children? And even if I were to adopt them, I can't give them the love that a mom can give, the nurturing, the safety. I can give them what a dad can give. And so it's necessary that we connect. And so these dudes that get behind a microphone and a camera and they preach this bullshit, it's just hurting more people. We are hardwired to search out, find, develop our purpose. We're hardwired for that. And in the absence of it, so you don't have a life partner, you don't have children, which are the two of the highest source of purpose, and then your vocation would be probably the third highest source of purpose. In the absence of that, you begin to glom onto something. I don't care if it's Antifa or Black Lives Matter or the new fucking gay flag that's, it's got triangles and whatever. I don't care if you want to be a transgender unicorn. I'm all for it, man. Fly your freak flag. However, the people that are so locked on to that as their purpose are locked on to that because they are lacking true purpose and meaning and fulfillment in their life. And so you're forced to glom onto something because the absence of purpose means you are going to be addicted to vices, pornography, vape, alcohol, whatever the thing might be. And that's how they start spiraling into anxiety and depression and self-loathing.
You talk a lot about inner voice and kind of the relationship that you have with that inner voice. It's something that I've changed an awful lot in myself over the last 5 to 10 years. Let's say that there's someone listening who says, all right, Bedros, seems okay for you. You have got a lot of freedom and you're evidently friends with the person that exists inside of your head. What would you say to someone who has a bad inner voice and wants to change it?
Well, I think the very first place to start is to understand that we are very unique creatures on this planet. We live on 3 different planes, don't we? And my dog, Cookie, has no idea about that. Only we have self-awareness. We have the sense of purpose. And we live on 3 planes. The physical plane. This is a vehicle. This, your body is a vessel, a vehicle, and it's deteriorating. No matter what you do, take all the drugs you want, all the hormones you want, time will always win.
Entropy will win.
Right? Exactly. So we live on that physical plane, but we're also energy. We're radiance, we're a soul, we're a spirit, we're energy. And then somewhere beyond, between those two, there's the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you have. So you're living life on 3 planes. And as you get older, assuming you're doing the work, because wisdom is not just age, wisdom is experience compounded by age. There you have wisdom. So literally, your soul, your consciousness gets wiser as your body begins to deteriorate. And this is why you hear old folks always saying, if I could just go back, like, what do they say? Age is wasted on the youth. That term exists because if I just knew what I know now, then, oh my gosh, what I could have done in my 20s, they say, right? And so we have to reconcile the fact that the vehicle is dying. The vehicle that I'm in is dying, yet I have greater self-control, greater self-mastery, more in line with what my God-given source purpose is. And there I still have thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and I have to master those so that I could keep driving towards my God-given purpose as my body is deteriorating. And so the inner voice is constantly fighting with those 3 factors: the human animal consciousness, the physical being that breaks down and gets sick, which they should take care of, eat right, work out, etc. And then the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, because they are living incongruently. The reasons our negative self-talk exists, that's your conscience. Your conscience has no other way of getting your attention other than making you feel bad, making you feel shame, guilt, anxiety, depression. That's how your conscience knocks on your door and says, dude, you're living incongruently with how you believe you should be living. And that's why I'm giving you negative thoughts and negative voices in your head. Just literally flip the switch and tomorrow live congruently to the man you want to be. Don't hit the snooze button. Maybe you're sick and tired of hitting the snooze button. Drink your 30 ounces of water, like Sean Stevenson says, right? First thing in the morning. I don't even know why he said that. I just love the guy so much. I read that in his book 10 years ago, and I just drink 30 ounces of water every single morning. It doesn't do me any harm, only does me good. I send out my 3 gratitude text messages because I wake up angry and bitter most days because that's factory installed for me. I know who I am. I'm so self-aware that I have to send out 3 gratitude text messages every morning so I can put myself in a state of gratitude. That is what consciousness and my conscience demands of me. And if I don't, I'll still be the miserable fuck.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to do the thing that our body wants us to do. Be congruent with the man you want to be. If you don't, the inner self-talk will always be negative.
What I realized, especially throughout a lot of my 20s, was that the things that I was doing in the story that I was telling myself about who I should be, I felt like I was built for more. I felt like I should be more mindful, more equanimous, that my memory, the texture of my existence should have been better. The inner texture, not materially, right? I never cared for that. I still don't, largely, which is what I think makes me a particularly bad businessman. I ran a business for 15 years. Didn't really care. It was just a game to me. It was never really about money. Money, it's a fantastic scoreboard, but it wasn't about that. I felt like I was built for more, and I knew that I wasn't keeping promises to myself. I was cheating on girlfriends and stuff. And the worst part about the way that I felt after cheating on girlfriends wasn't me being caught. It was what it told me about the sort of person that I was, that I would have hurt this completely innocent other part of my life who'd done nothing except for care for me, done nothing except for try and make my life good. And I'd been disloyal and damaging. And I thought, right, is this really who you are? Is this really who you want to be? And I didn't. And it was like a fucking fugue state for a long time of me thinking, oh, Jesus Christ, like if this is the person that you say that you're supposed to be? Why the hell are you doing all of these different things?
Right. And so how did you feel? Like, let's just take a moment and unravel that for a moment, if you don't mind. So as you're cheating and as you're doing things, it's harming this person who otherwise loves you and cares for you and wants to see you thrive. And you know that that's not the guy that you are. This is not the man that you want to be. The difference between that is, how did you feel? What did you experience?
It was pain. It was a lack. It was a sense of a lack. It was a bitterness turned inward against my own ineptitude, my own weakness, my own fragility, the fact that I was at the mercy of my own base instincts. I didn't have the control. I didn't have the insight. I was not all that I could be. And the fact that I knew that there was potential there was what hurt the most, right? The fact that I felt like I was built for more, and yet I hadn't decided to answer the call of that. And I had this this may resonate with people that kind of come from a background where they don't have as many good role models around as they would like. And you know, you don't feel like you fit in, and you struggle to find people that give you the values that you want. And even accepting that, even being able to see that for what it is. Okay, well, look, what did you want? Did you want Alain de Botton from the School of Life or Jordan Peterson to be born early? What the fuck did you want? Did you want YouTube to be invented more earlier than it was? It wasn't, right? You found the things that you needed to find when you were ready to find them and when they were available to you, and not a moment before.
Right.